keep it. So, but we will be short with Mathieu, only 2 minutes. So let's check the agenda. So we will have a keynote presentation. I will introduce Attila, my former colleague from BME. Then we'll have the Entrepreneurship Workshop, coffee break, Christoph. The demos will be one part, 20 minutes here. So we'll split in 2 groups. And one group will be with AdvaNet. It's a telecommunication company dealing with supporting IoT systems. Other will be my students with MR glasses. And then you can switch. Or you are interested in only one of them, you can join one group and so whatsoever. In the afternoon, we have a class, as we had in Madrid. And we'll meet at the local restaurant. Please try to be sharp on time on the location. It's like 5 minutes walk from here. It's easily can be accessed by tram. I don't know where to stay. I guess at Boráros tér or Calvis tér, so very close to here. So you can easily get there. Yeah, all the catering is on us. You don't need to pay, except you want to order some in the lunch. I don't know, some drinks or something. Next day we'll meet. The program starts here at 9 a.m. But as many of you know, we have a project with Pierre, you know Pierre, your classmate, and we organize a seminar with my Department of Photography and Geoinformatics, and you are also invited. This is in this building. This is first floor at the building K. We have the upper ground floor. So the classroom is the upper ground floor, the other side of the corridor, okay? But maybe we can send an email, the location, right? Yes. Because it's quite new. And this seminar, we start with Pierre's presentation and then a discussion with my colleagues, PhD students, start at 8 a.m. So if you are interested, please come in time tomorrow morning. Okay, and then we will have breakout rooms. We book rooms for you, so you will split in like 7 or 8 groups. I think there is a team, the Hungarian team working with C. They will go out to visit a bridge and visit a company. Who is with that group? Okay, so you know your schedule for tomorrow. All the others here. Then we have the progress review, which is very interesting because then we have an overview on all the projects. The large break at the very same restaurants. Again, breakout rooms, closing remarks. That's day 2. Day 3, Saturday. Who will stay in Saturday? Who will attend the Saturday programs? Raise your hand. Okay, so maybe only 10 of us. Okay, so we will have the Industry 4.0 center, other side of the campus, other part of the campus sites, like 15 minutes walk from here. It's very exciting, very interesting. And if you are interested after this program, we still have some rooms booked for you. If you want to keep working on Saturday, then you can stay here all day long. I will be here on Saturday. So that's the short program. The schedule is posted over that door. You can check it. Please don't forget to sign the roster if you didn't, and you need to sign it again tomorrow. You can grab some foods in the coffee break. And yeah, I give the word to Mathieu, and then I will introduce Attila.
Thank you, Thomas. I will be very quick. I have nothing very new to say, but very happy and delighted to see all of you again. So it's one of the key milestones in the master. I want to say hello actually to Jem, Ashraf, Ajar, and Osam if they are connected. I can see some of them. Yeah, we are having different issues with visa, and I think we really need to work on that to improve the visa application to help you about that. And so first message is anticipate for the private event in September about visa application, because we would like to avoid again this kind of issues. So we will give you a lot of invitation letters with a lot of stamps or whatever to help you to come to Paris in September. Regarding the master, we will talk about that during the 2 days. So nothing. I know it's very challenging, capstone and other assignments. Just main important message is look beyond the master. That's very important for us, for everyone, because it's not only about the master, because it's about a collaborative environment, a new way of working. And we are creating the Center of Excellence with Tamás, Lovas, UPM, and we need you actually inside it. And we do have alumni of Surfworld, and right now, don't forget about all the sites, what we have on the site to work, offer to you. We are launching initiative on entrepreneurship, don't forget about that. And I'm very happy to see like collaboration initiative like tomorrow with Pierre is doing this lecture with Tamás, who was not part of the program. And I know like Osam did a lecture in the Middle East about digitalization. So feel free to foster about digitalization, because that's the key point of all this project. So thank you again for being here in Budapest. Thank you a lot at BME, Tamás, Christophe, for all the organization of the event again. I'm sure it will be perfect like last year. And enjoy your 2 or 3 days together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, last year you were here in May.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that you have -5 here in the morning.
Yeah.
And,
But look at the sun.
but still, at least we have
sun.
We have sunshine, so I hope you will have the opportunity to visit the city. So let me introduce Attila Berényi. Attila is a former colleague of us. He received his PhD at our university. He has geoinformatics and IT background, and they launched a startup dealing with IoT systems. So I think this is perfect for me because they are one of the best in Hungary, and they are connected to BME. So they are kind of from here. So Attila, the floor is yours. Try to keep your time because of the lunch.
I will try. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Budapest University of Technology and Economics. My engineering career started about 2 decades ago within these very walls, and I have to say it's always really good. It feels really good to return to my alma mater. In the next couple of minutes, while we're on time schedule, so I will keep it brief. I will try to give you an overview about structural health monitoring, SHM for short, demonstrating how advanced monitoring techniques can actually bridge between the gap, the physical realm and the digital realm. My name is Attila Berényi. Currently, I'm the co-founder and the CTO of a startup called SURVIOT Monitoring, which offers professional monitoring services focusing around, but not limited to, SHM solutions. We're in the market since 2020, and I encourage you all to reach out to us if you're interested in the topic or should you have any questions further down the road. Right, so how do we actually bridge the physical and the digital realms?
You can move aside.
Okay, I'm going to just continue. Okay, since the early days of computing, engineers always aim to try to create some sort of a link between the material world that surrounds us and this digital representation. And if we have a look at the advancement over the last couple of decades, then I think we are safe to say that their efforts is crowned with success. Although, and having said that, I'm pretty sure that this is just a step along the road and not the end of our journey. So it all begins with papers and scissors and pencils and ball pens and rulers. Up until the late 70s, engineers almost solely relied on manual craft. Now, this physical approach limited iteration and modification capabilities, and at the same time, it required pretty much expertise or really structured thinking, how you actually approach some sort of a sheet of paper. Having said that, I find it still amazing, the end result of those really hard labor that they put into it. Now, the digital journey began. Digital journey began or dates back to 1963, where a bloke called Ivan Sutherland released the great-grandfather of all CAD systems called Sketchpad. It was a really simple program. It only supported points and lines, but you can actually date back. That was the first CAD system. It took about 20 years for the first commercially available software to appear on the market, but that was the cornerstone of our digital journey. Now, this is actually not the first version of AutoCAD, because the first version was released in 1982. And if you have a look at that, you can safely say that its capabilities were quite limited or quite primitive compared to today's standards. But the most important thing to note here is that it standardized the way thinking and how we actually approach digital models. it also enabled digital modification capabilities, which was a real pain back in the day. Now, the next step in this journey introduced 3 dimensions. First, it came in the form of wireframes, followed by 3-dimensional solids. And with these technologies incorporated into these systems, engineers can, for the first in history, can visualize or were able to visualize their objects and structures volumetrically. And it also significantly enhanced spatial reasoning and enabled conflict detection early on. Building information modeling and monitoring systems, well, I think we can say they introduced a paradigm shift, because from mere 3-dimensional model, we actually moved ahead to advanced information integration. And BIM actually kind of postponed the traditional way of thinking in 3 dimensions and introduced new dimensions like cost, time, sustainability, which are really important. And this was the first step to truly create the link between the physical and digital world. I'm sure this is really this looks familiar to you all. I'm not going to talk about digital twins much because I think you know them very well. But the most important thing to note here that digital twins are creating a bidirectional connection between physical and the digital representation. And within these never-ending cycle whereby we do collect data, we do give feedback, and this cycle just repeats on and on, SHM or structural health modeling plays a crucial role. I will give you a detailed overview about that on the following slides. Okay, so with that out of the way, we know where we're coming from, and hopefully we know where we're heading. Well, we're not quite sure, but I'm sure that the progress won't stop with the digital twins. What is structural health monitoring in general? So while I was preparing this presentation, I asked one of the large language models, I think it's either OpenAI or Claude, it doesn't really matter, what is SHM? And it came up with this sort of a definition. And it's not bad, to be honest. It's not complete. So I've jotted down some thoughts to make sure I can give you a little bit of context of what SHM is in general. So it involves continuous real-time monitoring, but that it can be actually split into multiple steps. So first of all, we do some sort of a data acquisition. That's how we actually create the first connection. That's how we try to sense what is going on in the structure itself. That results in raw data, which needs to be filtered, pre-processed, and post-processed. So that involves data crunching bit. And it's a bit blunt, I know, but I will get into details later on as well. And that cleansed and crunched data actually feeds back into the continuous assessment through which we can evaluate the structural integrity. And this is, again, just like with BIMs, is a never-ending story. It just runs around in cycles, on and on. Why do we use SHM? Why is it important to use SHM? Well, the following slides will give you a tangible picture about how important continuous monitoring is. This is the Ponte Morandi in Genoa, Italy, after its collapse in 2018. And this picture not only shows a structural failure, but also shows the failure of detecting the warning signs early on. And I think that's more important than the actual failure itself. This is the Berényi rail tunnel between France and Italy. There was a landslide in the summer of 2023, which damaged the tracks, and the whole railway was closed back then. It's still closed, I think. They will try to open it towards the end of October. It's open already, but it's open already there. Thank you. Luckily, the structure of the tunnel wasn't damaged, and I think there was no casualties either, which is a really good thing. But it showcases the fact that it's not always the structure itself that we need to protect and monitor. It's really important to actually have a look at the bigger picture and have a look at the surroundings as well. Again, a bridge collapse from Brazil. This happened just a few days before last Christmas. Eventually, well, There are a few casualties, unfortunately, but this showcases again how important it is to actually look after our old structures and making sure that we're not only focusing on building something new, but to take care of what we have already. Well, I'll just let you watch the video. It's really short. So this is a land flight. It had been drive next door in Austria, all over Austria actually, in Bachau last summer. And we were lucky enough that a road worker was present at the site when it happened. And this is the aftermath after the dust settled. Again, the structure itself, the road, is fine, or was fine before the landslide. So it's important, again, to make sure that we not only monitor whatever we think is important, but the actual surroundings as well. So, as a recap of what I was just trying to tell you is that structure health monitoring and its benefits basically can group into two main categories. The first one is to make sure that we actually proactively approach the state of our current infrastructure and we try to prevent catastrophic failures. And the other one, which is kind of overlapping and interacting with the first one, is to make sure that the economic impact is actually looked after. Because without economic impact and minimizing the costs and optimizing the strategies, we won't be able to reach a high level of sustainability, which is really important these days. All right, so let's have a look under the hood and let's see, what components are making a message component to actually, work and operate on the field on a day-to-day basis. But there are many ways of grouping these components, but I think these are the four cornerstones. So first of all, we need some sensors and data acquisition units to make sure that we can actually gather the data or acquire the data from the structure itself or from its surroundings. We need some sort of a communication solution that we can actually transfer the data to a processing facility where the data processing happens. And last but not least, one would say the most important step is to actually assess that data and make informed decisions based on that data. Again, sensors. I think every single one of you have a sensor in their bucket because our mobile phones and smartwatches and everything like that is incorporated by, I don't know, dozens of sensors. So these little analog, digital chips, MEMS sensors can be installed basically anywhere. But there are also analog sensors on the field that need some digital analog conversion. So it's really important to know that this sensor is perfect for which project or which task. There are sensors that can measure the actual metric that we're interested in directly, like temperature, or maybe it's indirect and needs some sort of post-processing, like how we calculate ion frequencies from acceleration. The latest sensors with the capacity, the CPU capacity of these microcontrollers increasing can do on-edge processing, which means that we do not have to transfer all the raw data to the data processing facility, but we can do some processing on the side, making sure that we only transmit whatever is necessary and whatever is relevant to us. But then again, we need to look after the power source. So sometimes a small battery is enough, sometimes we need the mains power. Sometimes we can use solar panels, sometimes we cannot. So it's really important to know that sometimes the barrier of entry is the power source itself, because we cannot really use our sensors if there's no power available. Remote management capacity and auto capability are, I would say, the nice to haves. These days, maybe not so much anymore. It basically means that we need a bi-directional connection between the actual system that controls the measurement program and the sensor itself. So we need to be able to send messages to the sensor that I would like to increase the frequency or decrease the frequency or change the measurement program from 8 AM to 10 PM to, I don't know, 2 PM to midnight. There are a few bumps that one might face along the road. It's really easy to fall into the trap of vendor lock-in. So let's say I have a project, I buy a load of sensors, some sort of processing capability from vendor A, and then I realize that I have another project. which requires different sensors. Maybe the first one is a bridge and the second one is a tunnel. And if memory doesn't really manufacture the sensors I'm interested in or I'd like to use, I will have two parallel systems and they won't talk to each other. So it's really important to look out for sensor agnostic solutions on the market. And the signal to noise ratio actually goes back to the digital sensors. So if the metric that you'd like to measure is really small, you just need to keep an eye on that the actual meaningful data that doesn't get lost. A few sensors. This is an in-place inclinometer. It's actually installed in a ball hole, so it goes down like, I don't know, 15, 20 meters and measures inclination at different depth, which is a really interesting thing. And this is really helpful of monitoring earthworks and slopes. This is an accelerometer installed in a railway tunnel, which helped us to determine whether the sealing of the tunnel is stable or not. And this is one of our own sensors that we've developed. This is a GNSS-based solution which monitors the All right, so we have the data already. How do we actually make sure that it makes its way to the data processing facility? This is where communication comes in. There are really good ways of communications these days. Some are good for long distances, some are good for short distances, some are optimized for bandwidth, some are optimized for power consumption. It's really important to know that basically at this day and age, we are able to actually install sensor meshes whereby the sensors actually talk to each other before the data reaches the gateway. So we do not need to follow a star topology whereby every single sensor talks to a central node that sends out the data. They can actually talk to each other, which is really important. One interesting thing I'd like to mention here is satellite 5G. So in rural areas where mobile coverage is not available, we still want to monitor things, right? What do? We can use satellite communication, available technologies like Iridium and low orbit cube satellites, but the bandwidth are really small and the data packages are quite pricey. So hopefully that will resolve this issue. And it goes without saying that within the IoT world, general data security and end-to-end encryption is really important because we do not want to share our data with someone who's not really authorized to see it. And again, error handling, we need to make sure that whenever something goes down, we do not need to run sensors every single time. It should be able to repair themselves to a certain degree, of course. So now the data reaches the data processing facility. What do we do with it? Well, it depends on the task at hand, but it's really important to highlight the fact that besides the general approach of simple statistics and this, that, and the other, an up-to-date SHM should support some sort of a plugin system whereby really complex data processing can be achieved. For example, operational model analysis or weight in motion systems. So we do not need to stop the trucks anymore to measure their weight. We can do that using stringing. Obviously, machine learning and prediction are the most important parts of the R&D activities these days because they can actually find patterns in the data that can actually show structural issues of failure or signs of structural failure before we actually can see that on the structures themselves. And doing automated and AI-enabled processes, this is a really labor-intensive process. And if you just think about the sheer amount of data that can come in from a system like that, well, it's almost impossible to do it manually. And assessment, it's really important to highlight the fact that assessment is always done by a stakeholder, an engineer, or someone on the site. So SHM systems do not make decisions for you. They will give you enough information and they will help you in the process of making informed decisions by providing insights and data visualizations, graphs, alerting reports, whatever you need and whatever you like, but it won't make a decision for you. If you just give you enough data and information for you to make a quick but informed decision. Okay, let's have a look at a few case studies. The The first one is a really simple one. This is one of our ongoing projects in the southern part of Hungary. This is a 10-story residential building where satellite radar indicated pretty well, I shouldn't say pretty, but it indicated that that the building was moving. It's like a few decimeters on a year-to-year basis, which scared them a little bit. So we installed tilt meters on the first floor, I think, or on the ground floor at the top of the building. We also installed a weather station to ensure that we can record the weather conditions, and also installed just to be sure, you know, one of the sensors that I showed you before, a GNSS-based displacement monitoring system. And luckily, we can say that the actual movement of the building is mostly caused by its thermal movement. So here you can see a chart whereby we do see the daily average. This is the orange line, and the actual inclination, which is the green line. I can safely say that the correlation is pretty clear. And also the correlation is very well shows this graph whereby we can it's not only for a year now, only I think 8 months, 7 months, but the seasonal movement can be reflected on this chart really well. This is an interesting one. So this is a viaduct almost 1,000 meters long in Italy. Well, based on the size of the structure, the number of sensors installed on this bridge were pretty high, I would say. So they installed 85 accelerometers and all the rest that was required to actually apply the data and analyze the results. And here is the result. So this is not a digital twin; it's just the second model shape of the building. So SAGEM on its own can create something like it, but again, it's not enough. And this is a really lovely example. This is the lovely town of Zermatt in the Swiss Alps, obviously surrounded by pretty high hills. They do have a radar system that continuously monitors the hill for landslides, and it automatically controls the traffic light system down in the valley. So if it detects some sort of movement or possible landslide, we just close the door for every single vehicle coming in or out. Okay. Obviously, this field has R&D activity as well. There is just a single project that I would like to mention here. And in this project, we're working together with the University of Technology and Economics, and we're trying to build a standardized unit for all the EU countries to use to monitor landslides. So we've seen the problem in the Frejus Tunnel, we've seen the problem in Lower Austria. So hopefully this project will actually give guidance and actually the device that one can install in areas that are landslide prone. Okay, so what is the takeaway? And I hope I'm doing good on time. You can think about SAGEM as the smartwatch of your structures, because like your smartwatch, it actually measures different parameters of the structure, which in the smartwatch case is your body. And you know, based on those information, you can make assessments. So if your heart rate is too high, then you need to slow down. And it's also important to know that using these technologies, we'll get one step closer to a sustainable and resilient future, and it will be really good to leave something for our grandkids as well. Without further ado, I'd like to thank you for your kind attention, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank
you. I have a question
From those
on the Zoom. Hello, everyone. I can't hear you, but
specifically public pay for this kind of.
Yeah.
And I always like I don't have any argument. Okay, you can say like you can save over a long time. You will earn money because we do like maintenance, like for years. At some point, like it's very difficult to convince people.
It is really difficult, but you know, the economic impact I mentioned before, I think that's the one thing that can.
It's difficult to do it like objectively.
Well, yeah, exactly. But to be honest, you know, preventive maintenance shouldn't be like, you know, something nice to have. It should be the de facto standard of how we actually do these things. Because if we actually approach, you know, the whole structure integrity topic with not a reactive but a proactive approach, then all of these, you know, bridge collapses can go away for almost.
Yeah, but maybe we should like also like do some lobbying, kind of force or like use a law which oblige maybe like cities or like manager of bridges.
Yeah.
To now it is mandatory to monitor bridges.
Well,
and maybe with help of the state or I don't know, with funding to help the communities pay for this kind of monitoring.
It would be really lovely to get to that stage. So there is also an EU funded project called Safe, led by the Italians. They actually came up with some sort of standardization of how SHM should be applied to different structures and different bridges. They actually came up with like 5 different categories, and you know, through each they try to apply the methodology of installing sensors on one type of bridge. And if you can actually derive information based on that, maybe that can be actually used as like, you know, the guinea pig for the bridges at the same time. And that way you can actually keep the cost low or lower, I should say, because yeah, the upfront cost is really high in SHM, but in the long run definitely pays out.
The investments, perceptions, exactly, are harder to make.
Yeah, and they do not have money usually. That's the problem.
Okay, there is one question online. Bora, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Yes. Can
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay, because we see what you put in the chat.
Because
yeah, Bora, can you repeat the question? No, I mean
I can read it out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So after developing and training ML models for SHM, can we deploy most of our processes on the edge to minimize cloud storage and usage and also reduce data transfer issues? What are the trade-offs in terms of model retraining and synchronization? So the first part of the question, the answer is yes. But again, I mentioned power source. Problem is power. There are lots of bridges out there without any power at all. There is no light, nothing. So if you want to do that, you need to make sure that you have enough power to do that, because these kind of on-edge processes and processing requires a lot of power. What are the trade-offs in terms of model retraining and synchronization? Well, that's a really good question as well. So most of the time, the time synchronization is an issue. So if you want to do operational model analysis, you need to ensure that the time synchronization, all of the sensors within our network is time synchronized. And I'm not talking about a simple MTP, I'm talking about femtosecond level of synchronization. So it's really, really hard to do. There are different technologies like EtherCAT and VPT, which can do that, but it's really important to do so.
No, we cannot hear you, but we read your question in the chat.
Did you hear the answer?
Okay, so are there any questions from the audience? Okay, if not, thank you, Attila, again. We can share some material with you because we have a course on structural health monitoring in the digital master program. Okay, so and the next program before the coffee break is with Gábor. I think some of us, the professors, we know him because last time he did a talk, and so Gábor will give an entrepreneurship workshop. He's working at BME Innovation Office. He's an innovation manager. He will introduce himself. And I guess it's a workshop, so it needs your active participation, right? Okay, so Gábor, the floor is yours. You have 1 hour. You need to keep the tight schedule, okay? Keep it in mind. Thank you. Do you have anything to share? Do you want to share anything or present something? Or? No, okay.
So. Right from the cold outside. Of my weather. Since when are you sitting? This morning, when did you begin? Half an hour ago?
Yes, sir.
No, 1 hour.
That's fine.
Only 1 hour ago. So you are already a little bit.
Woman.
One who? But the thing is that today I didn't prepare myself the presentation, but I thought that I will bring you some, let's say, game. You want to play? Always. Cool. So the game is not about dressing out. Will somebody smile? I don't know. So the game is about entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship for you? What is entrepreneurship for you?
Like making some ideas concrete.
Yeah, okay, woman. Anybody else? What is entrepreneurship?
Making a lot of money.
Solving necessity. Solving necessity. That's really jump. Oh, yes. Well,
Finding what is missing.
finding what is missing, yeah. Well, I really knew this establishment was important. I'm only working here since 5 years. In my previous life, I was working with multinational companies, was working in the last 2 years in there. And for me, doing entrepreneurship is all this what you have mentioned, but there is one crucial element. It should be fun. It shouldn't be boring. It shouldn't be all of necessity. It shouldn't be all of I must do that. The good entrepreneur is always say, I want to do it. Obviously, the state of mind is pretty difficult because when you begin to work as an employee, they are teaching you how to behave. They are teaching you how to communicate. They are teaching you what is hierarchy. They are teaching you what is structure. They want to do that. Two games. And I want you to join me on this game. The first one, I need everybody has a pen. Yeah, cool. So I will distribute all paper.
I can help you.
Yeah, okay.
Should I bring one paper to everyone or?
Not one, but three.
Three.
You can distribute. So,
I have nothing there. I can help you if you want. Yes.
don't find definitely I remember this is that's something you can say. Just raise your hand. You don't ask, I was in the 2020. So, the goal of this game, I'm asking you, regardless whether you have an entrepreneurial experience or not, but on this paper, you have 3 papers, and you should choose from your past, from your experience with this establishment, 3 of the most valuable lessons that you have learned, or the worst. So, what have you learned the most, and what was the worst for you? You should choose. It can be 2, 1, or 1, 3, or whatever. You have 3 sheets, and on each sheet, describe it, write it down. Okay? After that, you who already had when he or she was a child a game for snow. Ever? You didn't have any experience going over the snow, making snowballs? Okay. So if you finish the 3 sheets, I'm asking you for snowballs. Okay? I give you about 5 minutes. So write down 3 of your best and the worst experience that you had. Write it down. Okay. 3.
Now, it's no question.
Well,
One
yeah,
experience.
Not everybody is able to answer. So you use those words that somebody else can read. Okay?
Just a phrase or the text? Like a paragraph?
Sì,
Just a
It's the snowball is part of it.
Any other pen? Do we have any pen?
Oh, we can find pens. Got it.
Two more minutes. I hope that everybody is using a different sheet for a different experience, okay? So not writing run all the 3 on one paper. So one paper, one experience. One sheet, one experience. Yeah, try to form a snowball. So don't. Okay. We're ready.
What is play?
Why do you go? Sometimes it's good to be there. Please need to set up. Okay. Well, these need to set up. I want these go, and the feet, go. Cool. There you go. Don't know what they're doing. It's like in your life. If you're an entrepreneur, you are faced with challenges which you cannot anticipate. However, some of the challenges are familiar, others are completely out of your focus. They are out of your comfort zone. So now, what we will do is we will begin from here, and everybody will read out loud what is written on the paper. Okay? And the goal of the game is to make a little bit of understanding whether what is written on the paper is familiar with you, you have already experienced something similar, or it's totally out of the experience. This is the pre-control. Mathieu, please. But now is the time that everybody will reach the head of thing, and nice writing.
Yes, of course, I was thinking. About the it is a 3 years of work in a very challenging environment. Yes, true. And the fact that the task was successfully finished was something. But I can understand the feeling of at the end of the 3 intense years of work and relate to that.
Okay. So there's something that somebody else is opinions on, and already might do, and anybody else in the room can have any kind of connection. So either it's a good or a bad thing, but you can relate to that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so then what's the next one?
About your human relationship in a company that can become best things and also more people things. So making and like
Do you have any experience in your life which is similar to that?
yeah, I created my own company.
Okay,
There are like ups and downs, so it's
okay, thank you. What's the last one?
and the last one. Data analytics plus construction project.
Wow. I think it was.
Data analytics plus construction project.
Okay.
I don't, not sure what it's intending there, but.
You see, when we said about the experience and we said about write it down so other can understand, in most of the cases it's not enough, let's say 1 or 3 words. Because it's just describing facts. We cannot relate to that. If you are an entrepreneur, you should find the words that make you understand in somebody else's mind. Okay? So just putting buzzwords to each other, it doesn't make you explain anything. The recipient, on the other end, will, okay, I understand the word, but what does it mean? Okay? Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
First paycheck in Spain after struggling a lot showed me that I was capable of doing and surviving everything.
Wow, okay. First picture.
Managing the project of the technical center for training maintenance in Poland, plans. Included lots of research about our delivery, efficiency of trains, moving inside the center, etc.
You want to better,
Best experience.
the best picture, okay.
This is the best bet. Then my girlfriend asked me to get married.
One was the day I finished the Master of Industrial Engineering.
Wow.
But, a summer in the wider so much peace and happiness and full sense of completion and a meaningful 20 years of living.
About three X.
Oh,
Actually, one is making one on closing notes while playing. What? That's one. My other pet also better than
no, it's not, but this is where three best.
No, words.
Words.
Words, they demand from the life.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is tough. What is similar for an entrepreneur, in like in the real life, like that? Big.
Nothing.
Okay.
The fact that we have stories and
The best in the meaning for an entrepreneur, an entrepreneurial journey, is to finally admit that what he or she might have tried to accomplish is not possible. For any reason. Market reason, financial reason, so you need to let go. By letting go of the idea, which for you have fallen apart for many years or a long time, it's very similar to experience what you experience when you lose something that you love. Okay, so this is kind of fast. Okay, thank you.
Was all here, when it starts, so it's
Wow. Okay.
the was managed project for my own company. And earn more money I gain from myself. That's enough for the person in my wedding of past July.
Wedding of past July. Wow. Good luck for the rest of the year.
But, and my friend that right. Managing between the drivers, the social plan to manage, that goes the strikes. And I left my family and moved to another country. And that feeling. And we moved one week, not 1 week, Sunday.
1 week.
At last.
That's NASA. Okay.
One was I take over of my private pipes, so basically we do the English job of life. So it's that. I guess get the bridge. And I think this one happens inside. Access all situation outside the outside. My phone died. So we use the car. So you will keep it.
I guess just the three of us.
Oh, no problem.
So I got the best one, the day my fiance and I got the keys to our house to go together. Another best experience or gaining a scholarship in setting, going against what everyone expected from me and just trusting my guts and my desire to reach my goals no matter what. It brought me to where I am now, where I am and who I am. Pretty proud. Okay, and one of the worst experience is the day I decided to quit from my football team in high school because I realized that I was not good enough.
Would you realize it was
Not good enough.
Hierarchy of the job. Yes, at the time, not a bad boy, they prepare to be good. Talking a lot about treatment. Experience and interactions. Patients and interactions. My job, the first job. The most experience is the hours spent from the birth of my first child. The moment I saw vaccine. The last one I did was work 100 March, spending 100 line in traffic.
that was very simple.
First, experience. Then here the test is defined with the proxy. Another bad experience, too many administration during the work, too many during the work, and digitalization level, and few experts.
Okay.
And success, a good experience, a successful software project that I have been used for a lot of people and improved process.
Cool. Okay. Good.
So I have only two experiences. The first one is the experience write and fail exam studying in the political school of Paris. I have worked hardly, but I failed. I have learned that studying is not only the way to succeed. You need for manage your stress. And the first one has my best experience. The one is best experience is the day that my children give birth to a baby. No, made a baby.
Finished my PhD after 5 years of hard work and a lot of ups and downs. And second, send CV to my current boss and ask for a job opportunity that I didn't have any experience for.
Wow. Okay.
Concept. Original chickens, chickens gave me a lot of good experience and that's of the people that participating at the class. It is needed just to know more than people. The one being part of the Spanish imports. One is the birth of my kids and the birthdays they take. During the last year, I was shy to say what I thought about subject during a meeting. Besides, I have the correct answer and the good idea. And I was accepted in sitting through the birth of my child. Sounds general, but a child is the best and only and reproducible thing. Exciting. Waiting for my website.
One month in Buzás, I would see, I worked there 12 hours a day from Monday to Saturday. I had to learn what to do, driving these long days. Was hard. Stories and arguments inside the teams, human resources have become both stimulated. And last, getting scolded by my parents for playing in water sprinklers for a long time.
I have three bits of experience. Working with three people on a nice innovative project and getting a very good result. Going to a foreign country and learn new culture, people of the same time. And synergy when collaborating to create innovative solution that works.
The first one is be recommended to work abroad in a reconstruction project. The second one is about the postdoctoral study in 2000, remote collaboration over internet that involved 3 universities. It names the universities, but it was the best experience that with many things. I don't understand. And starting minimum and shifting to a digital world. Very engineering because it has like underscores.
Oh, yeah. It's,
That's
super.
yeah. And then these other there are 3 goods. Like for example, the second one is to find a solution, technical solution to a new problem, and another one is to find the of a highest pillar of the highest pitch. So I think
Alguien puede probar algo por mí, amor. In career steps, I was seen as academic environment by students and youth. Then playing with cousins during summer vacation. And when I accepted to my family companions.
Creating as good models for donors in the field, alliance project. Get global funding with their college to work abroad in New Zealand. Start analysis, project plan, with EVM. It says the degree that you choose to study is not as important as what you will do next with it. The purpose and the value of the grade is important, and it should help people and make the world a better place. One, you do college are important. That I do, there are the first one I have to spend 2 weeks as a trainee in my high school years next to a midterm. I'm helping. It was not so fun, therefore I started to study harder. So, I'm not getting more clues, so I hope it's a good one. The one is finding that you are at the right place and you are found your way. The second, you came up with new ideas related to new technologies. The last is making impact in job, introducing new system.
The good ones, a lot of friends at the beginning of my career. South African Youth for Travel, MBU.
How do you feel about this year? What are your thoughts? That's all. This game is good to show that whatever you think about somebody else, whatever you enter a room full of people, maybe you know, maybe you not know them so well. There is always common ground. There is always a part in their life and their experience to reach it and relate it. As an entrepreneur, that's what you're looking for. You're looking to be connected. You are looking to solve somebody else's problem. Entrepreneurship is about solving problems, but not for ourselves. Maybe it's for ourselves, but a good entrepreneur is solving a problem that solves the problem of many people. You understand how other people, even in this small room, how do they work? How do they communicate? What are their thoughts? I don't know you. We've seen you last year. I've seen some of you last year, but you don't know me. Maybe you don't know your partner who's sitting next to you. there is always a point you need to find. And it's hard. What did you feel when somebody else was reading out loud your experiences? I'm sure that some of them was a little bit misaligned. Was a little filled with their experience. It was expressed through their prism, through what they have experienced, not what you. But still, part of that can be the same. As an entrepreneur, that's what you're looking for. How to connect people, how to understand them, how to solve them. And even we are a small group, only 30 people. Even in this small group, there can be a lot of similar ground, and there is a lot of specificity which is linked to people's uniqueness. That's, if there is one takeaway that I want you to understand, entrepreneurship is not a solo game. Entrepreneurship is not about ideas. Entrepreneurship is fulfilling a dream that solves many people's problems. So, for me, this is the key message that I want you to take away from this session. I still have some few minutes.
Yes.
10. Okay. I'm the game master today. I have another game. Okay. Did you heard of the game Human Machine?
Yes.
The Human Machine is a game that I'm asking all of you to imagine a machine. How does it look? What sound does it make? How it is moving? And the goal, is, yeah, that's a machine. So, I'm asking you to create a human machine. The goal that everybody is thinking about what the machine does, and you should connect with the sound, with any movement, to the previous people that's making the machine. So I'm asking you, my friend, to stand up. You have okay, you have a nice machine.
Not really, but okay.
Machine.
Okay.
What's the specificity? Is the sound, is the movement that you can imitate? Whatever. Okay, thinking one.
I don't know. Selecting machine.
And this is what it's doing?
Yes, together.
Okay,
Why not?
can I ask you to stand up?
Yeah, good.
Do the movement that you are doing. How can you connect this? You can do anything which in your mind is related to a machine. The end goal that everybody will setting up, and we'll connect the previous people by adding their idea of sound,
Press the button,
movement,
stop.
or whatever it is. So we do the human machine. Okay, so come on.
Press the
You are
button, stop.
oscillating. Okay, you press it. Then you continue to press back.
Could be some movement.
Whatever.
Boom, boom, boom.
So you have to do that for an hour on there.
But don't stop. So please continue.
Are we doing that? No one. We do.
Don't take pictures.
Okay.
We did this our way.
That doesn't mean what you have to do. Team is an application. Application work together, everybody achieves more. So that's all for me. Thank you very much for playing the game with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry about the little break and some boring presentation that Tamás has prepared.